in Total War Warhammer was a big hit. What's going on with the campaign level in Warhammer 2?
So in Warhammer 2, we've got a ton of new campaign features which lead you to kind of explore and discover and gain new abilities and that kind of stuff. And it's all based around a sort of overarching narrative, so all the races are in tension right until the end. But we're also, shortly after launch, we're also releasing a free update for the game, which will bring the combined...
Players going to get the chance to play there.
Yep, so they can play the Battle of the Fallen Gates. We've got 2 difficulty modes, so a kind of starter difficulty mode and a veterans difficulty mode. And they'll also get to see, we're also rolling, when you play it, you'll see the actual campaign map as well. We've put a video together that details loads of the new features in the campaign map, so you can actually see that in action as well. So if you get a chance, go play. It's really good fun.
Well, Al, I want to thank you for coming out and talking to us today about Total War Warhammer 2. Once again, feel free to check it out on the E3 floor, or if you're at home, there'll be tons of footage and updates about the Battle of the Fallen Gates. Now, our next game is in the card game genre, a genre where no matter how hard I try, I wind up playing bad decks and having fun. Here to talk about the upcoming expansion for Shadowverse is Kriparian.
Hey guys, how's it going? Kriparian here. Today I want to talk to you guys about Shadowverse. Shadowverse is one of the best card games out there because it basically just does everything right. Every time I log into Shadowverse, I have an amazing experience. I can play whatever deck type, whatever deck, whatever cards, anything I want to do. And of course, every time there's new cards added to the game, this whole thing gets forwarded and really the game gets so much richer. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the worldwide debut of the Wonderland Dreams trailer.
I have a book for thee, like no other. Each page a window to a long-lost land, where fairy tales dovetail with myths, and wishes give birth to legends grand. Knights and dragons, or wistful love. Within this book, all ambitions bloom. But be warned, my fickle friend. A dark abyss awaits us all. For blood-pricked roses wishes be. But fear not to bite life's fruit, for in this land, courage is key. With bated breath, the door sweeps open. Glory bound, or purged in flame. The hand you choose defines your fate. So I ask you, is this really just a game?
Thank you, Cygames, and thank you, Krip. As you know, technology is an extremely important component to games, especially with the ever-increasing power of hardware and with new demands coming from VR. Here to talk a little bit about tech in games is the leader of the software development group at Intel. It's Doug Fisher. Doug, come on out. Our next game is in the card game genre. It's a genre where no matter how hard I try, thanks for joining us, Doug.
It's great to be here.
I want to thank you, Doug, here for coming out. The upcoming expansion for Shadowverse is appreciated. It means a lot to us. And
hey guys, how's it going?
Kriparian
here.
Stuff to say. I'm going to give the stage to Doug. Goodbye.
Talk to you guys about Shadowverse.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I am very excited to be here. And I'm very excited to talk to the PC gaming community about all the announcements we made.
Every time I log into Shadowverse, I have an amazing experience, much richer.
All these announcements
and with that,
are very relevant
ladies
to
and gentlemen, I give you the worldwide
2016
debut
was an
of the
amazing
Wonderland
year by
Dreams
all
trailer.
measures in gaming. Look at the number of live streams in Twitch, over 2 million new live streams. Over 300 million esports enthusiasts. And look at the growth.
I have a book for thee,
2017
like
is going to
no
be even
other.
more amazing. And why? Because of you. It's because
A dark
of you in
abyss
this room, PC
awaits
gamers.
us
It's because
all.
of you.
Bated breath, the door
You
sweeps.
are the brain, the
Is this
innovation
really
we create.
just
you
a
drive
game?
us to innovate. You are on the edge of technology all the time. You have that instinct on what the new capabilities are that we need to deliver.
Thank you,
And then you have this
Cygames, and thank you,
amazing,
Krip.
inclusive,
As you
and
know,
social
technology is an
environment.
extremely important component
Young,
to games,
old,
especially with
male,
the
female,
ever-increasing
tech,
power
non-tech.
of hardware.
Millions
and
of people
new
getting
demands
together,
coming from
inspiring each
VR.
other
Here to talk a little
immerse
bit about tech
themselves
in
in
games
this
is the leader of the software
Now, it
development
starts
group
with
at
Intel
Intel.
with amazing
It's Doug
hardware
Fisher. Doug,
technology.
come on out. Next game.
We talked about the launch we had 2 weeks ago.
Hey, thanks for joining us, Doug.
It's great to be here.
I want to thank
Now,
you,
you
Doug,
gaming
for talking
enthusiasts
about
will
upcoming
love the
expansion
Core
for
i7
Shadowverse. Is
Overclocking capability. It's an amazing
Hey guys, how's it going? Praying
You
here.
mega testers
I'm
on the
going to
game,
give the stage
create,
to Doug.
stream. We'll love the beast of them all.
Talk to you guys
The
about
Core
Shadowverse.
Good morning, everyone.
Shadowverse is
I
one of
am
the
very
best
excited to be
card
here.
games
An
out there.
amazing
I'm
very
system
excited to talk to
basically
the
just
PC
does
gaming
everything
community. Now,
right.
as a software person,
Every time I log into
I
Shadowverse,
love
I have
the
an
software
amazing
guy,
experience.
love the
It's
game
much
hardware.
richer.
All these
And
announcements
with that,
very rarely
ladies
gives
and
software
gentlemen,
people,
I give you the
2016 was an
worldwide
amazing
Wonderland
time,
Dreams
all
created.
measures, creating that amazing content. Look at the number of live streams. I work with over 2 million new live streams. Gaming developers, over 300 million to ensure they take full advantage of all that innovation.
I have a book for thee.
2017
Like-
caching algorithms, or the high-density graphics, or multi-core. It doesn't matter. All are amazing. And this is just an example because of some of the titles we work with. It's because we recognize a lot of these titles. These are just a few examples, whether it's Halo Wars 2,
Dark abyss awaits us
we're in the
all.
VR space.
Breath, the door sweeps.
The unspoken.
Is this really
These great
just a
drive us to innovate. We're on the edge of technology all the time. How many people have heard you have that instinct on what the new capabilities are that we need to deliver?
Thank you,
couldn't
Side
be more
Games, and thank
excited,
you, Crip.
inclusive,
As
to
you
tell
know,
you to
technology
work
is
with
an
Bungie and
extremely
Activision to
important
bring
component to
young,
games,
Destiny
especially with
2,
the
female
ever-increasing
PC
power
content.
of hardware.
Millions of people getting together,
Brain
of the PC,
inspiring each
straight
other.
up,
Here to talk
to
a little
immerse
bit about tech
themselves
in
in
games
this
is the leader of the software.
That experience is absolutely amazing.
Doug
hardware.
Fisher. Doug,
And I
come on out.
can't think of a better
Next
person.
game.
We talked about the launch, how amazing that we had. Then the full-time live Twitch streamer. It's great to be here. Welcome on to Gaming Enthusiast Theft. Good, great to see you. Overclocking capability. It's an amazing system.
Hey guys, how's it going? Praying.
100 million. Ensure they take full advantage of all that innovation.
I have a book for thee.
2017
Like-
caching algorithms, so the high-density graphics
are
are amazing. And this is just an example because of some of the
videos
titles we
for,
work with. It's
Destiny
because we
Destiny
recognize a
Community
lot of these
Podcast,
titles.
one of the biggest
These are just a
podcasts
few examples,
specifically
whether
for
it's Halo Wars
Destiny, so
2,
Dark abyss awaits us
we're in the VR
all.
space.
Breath, the door sweeps.
The unspoken.
Is this really just a
Drive us to
I gotta
innovate
say,
on the
the
edge of
experience
technology
amazing.
all the time.
As,
How many people have you have
Destiny,
that
a lot of hours in
instinct
Destiny,
on what the new
knows
capabilities
how it's
are
gonna
that we
transfer,
need to
how's
deliver?
the experience
Thank
gonna
you,
be.
And then
Side
you
Games,
can
and
decide
thank you,
PC,
Crip.
are they gonna
As
have
you
tell
know,
you to
technology
work
is
with
an
Bungie and
extremely
Activision to
important
bring
component
young,
to games,
Destiny
especially with
2,
the
female
is
PC
incredible.
content.
That
Millions of people getting together.
Brain
of the PC,
Straight
straight
up.
up.
Using mouse
Here to
and
talk a
keyboard,
little bit about
himself.
tech
rain and
in
fire
games,
from
the
far
leader of
is
the
amazing.
software.
That experience is
You're gonna love Destiny,
absolutely
you're gonna love
amazing.
Destiny
Doug
2.
Fisher. Doug,
And I
come on
can't
out.
think of a better person. We talked about the launch, how amazing that we had.
Absolutely, it's gonna be on the it's gonna be on the show floor. The other thing too is they've got tons of PC support
Then
as
the
well that's being added to
full-time
it. So 4K
live
is gonna be
Twitch streamer.
beautiful looking. It's got 21.
It's great to be here.
For me personally,
Welcome on
I
to
think
Gaming
it's gonna be
Enthusiast
pushing
Theft.
144 or higher for FPS because it's gonna be so nice.
Good.
Absolutely. Top of that,
Overclocking capability. It's an amazing
Hey guys, how's it going? Praying.
100 million. Ensure they take full advantage of all that innovation.
I have a book for thee.
2017
Like-
caching algorithms,
So we'll
so
take
the
advantage.
high-density
Built like
graphics
cores in
are amazing.
Destiny.
And this is just an example
i9
because of some of the
Extreme
titles we
for,
work with.
uh,
It's because we
Destiny
recognize a
Community
lot of these
Podcast,
titles.
one of the biggest
These are just a few examples.
If you have an i9 Extreme,
Dark abyss awaits us all. Breath, the door sweeps. Is really just a
I gotta say,
on the edge of
the
technology all the time. How many people have you had that instinct? Have a chance to take a look at the capabilities
how's
are
it gonna
that we
transfer,
need to
how's that be
deliver.
great experience.
Thank
It's
you,
gonna be
Side
more
Games,
exciting.
thank you,
You'll see, are they gonna have
Tell you that you're
like
with Bungie and Activision. Yeah, Destiny 2, tech content. That millions of people getting together. Brain of the PC, that experience. Immerse themselves. All right, so that experience is absolutely amazing.
Doug Fisher.
Also, and I can't think of a better person. We talked about the launch, how amazing that we had.
It's gonna be on the.
You can see
it's gonna be on
examples
the show
of
floor.
properties
The
that
other thing,
they've
too, is
developed. We want to
got
make sure
tons
everybody's
of PC
developing
support.
and then the
Creating
full
content
content on
on
the
it.
PC.
4K
Live
is
more
gonna
and
be
more
extremely
opportunity
looking. It's
to
got
participate.
21.
It's great to be here.
Welcome
Welcome
back
to
to
Gaming
Gaming
Enthusiast
Enthusiast
Theft.
144
Take a look at the
higher for
sponsors.
FPS.
It's Intel, You got
gonna be so
three-man
nice.
game
Hey,
and Razer
Actually,
sponsoring
top
overclocking
of that,
capabilities. So you
Bungie
have
has-
You guys have a go in Ukraine.
to ensure they take full advantage of the
I have a book for thee.
2017 we announced at PAX West in Seattle, in Sarasota. And this is just an example because of the titles we were great because they recognize a lot of these yes, Tim Schafer's going to be judging this contest.
You have an i9 Extreme.
Arcadia awaits us all. Well, the doors sweet. Is this really justice?
I gotta say, you have that song for a lot of us take a look at it, take a look more hard, and lots of people participate. And then Destiny's going to come from. Lots of people participate. The people the PC. Immerse themselves. All right. So that is absolutely amazing. Also, and I can't think of better. We talked about the line. And you, all you gamers, you can see examples of his properties that they developed. We want to ensure everybody develops something unique, the whole contact to bring. Live reality, this is your opportunity to see. It's great to be here. Take a look at the sponsor, amazing intel. Three-man game and Razer sponsoring overclocking down. Speaking of you, you have to ensure they take full advantage of the
I have a book for thee.
2017 now first team. They have a landmark deal in Sarasota. And this intel now because they have titles we were great because they recognize all
You have an i9 Extreme.
Arcadia awaits us all. Well, the doors sweet. Is this really justice?
I gotta say,
I think you have that song for a lot of us take a look at it. They have this lots of you can see examples of the grand slam winner. As your participant but in addition, they'll get another $1 million. It's great to be here. $1 million. Take a look at the that amazing insight. Three-man game and Razer sponsoring overclocking down. Speaking of you, you have so much ensure they take full advantage. We are
I have a book for thee.
2017 make this available. They have a landmark deal in free of charge. Inside down because they have titles all great because they recognize free of charge. Everybody
you have an i9 Extreme.
Arcadia awaits us all. Well, the doors sweet. Is this really
Wouldn't it be awesome? I think you have that song for a lot of us. That's why we're getting excited to work together. I did not I know everybody likes a challenge. Everybody's like a challenge. I'm going to give you a challenge. Okay, today another. This participate it's great to be here. $1 million participate that amazing secret project. Three-man game Razer sponsorship now. Speaking of you, we have so
I have a book for thee.
2017 make this available. They have a landmark deal in free of charge. Inside down here. Free of charge.
Arcadia awaits us all. Well, the doors sweet. Is this really justice?
Wouldn't it be awesome? I think you have that That's why we're going to the website and work together. I know everybody likes a challenge. I'm going to give you a challenge. Another.
Brendan Green joins us to talk about the player unknown. And we don't play I have a book that
We're working with all these content providers to ensure they take full advantage of all those new capabilities. How many people have heard of Destiny? Yeah. I couldn't be more excited to tell you that we worked with Bungie and Activision to bring Destiny 2 to the PC. Yes, we're bringing it to the PC. Yes, bring it up. That experience is absolutely amazing. And I can't think of a better person to talk about how amazing that experience is than the full-time live Twitch streamer and YouTube broadcaster. Welcome on stage, Tefty Teft. Hey, Tefty.
Hey, Doug. How you doing?
Good. Great to see you.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
So you really do live, eat, breathe, sleep, dream Destiny.
I do. I play a lot of Destiny. I've got thousands of hours, hundreds of raids completions. I've built my community around Destiny on Twitch, and I'm a co-host for, one of the founding co-hosts of Destiny Community Podcast, one of the biggest podcasts specifically for Destiny. So I know a lot about Destiny, and I play a lot of it.
That's great. And so when you play it, have you experienced it on the PC yet?
I have, yeah. I got to play it at the event. I got to say, the PC experience is amazing. As somebody who's played a lot of hours in Destiny, everybody knows, how is it going to transfer? How's the experience going to go from console to PC? Are they going to actually be able to deliver? And I can say 100% sure that the PC experience is incredible. When I got to play it, I was blown away. I popped Dawn Blade, used a mouse and keyboard, and rain and fire from above. It was amazing. You guys, if you're a fan of Destiny, you're going to love Destiny 2.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, is anybody out here going to be able to participate and play with this?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's going to be on the it's going to be on the show floor. The other thing too is they've got tons of PC support as well that's being added to it. So 4K is going to be beautiful looking. It's got 21:9 ratio, uncapped frame rates. I mean, for me personally, I'm going to be looking at.
We have new weapons coming every month. So yeah, no, but our current focus is really just get the game competitive and stable.
So suddenly fences are no longer the most impossible object in the game. You can climb over them.
Yeah. So our content programmer Marek, he's done a really great job getting this system to be dynamic. So it doesn't matter what object you're in front of, you'll jump or vault over it.
Yeah, so in terms of jumping and vaulting, is it... yeah, vaulting. Is it sort of, when you say that it's dynamic, does this mean that the taller the obstacle, the more difficult it is to climb over?
Yeah, exactly, and it has different animations for each different thing, so vaulting, climbing. Now, we also have weather, so...
One of my favorite aspects, of course, is the rain map in the game. Walk me through what we're seeing here.
So this is our new weather settings. This is fog. You just saw clear day. Our rain has been tweaked a little bit as well. And we also have our sunset coming in. So this really, I'm really happy with how this turned out. It's quite beautiful. Yeah.
And what is the impact on gameplay of these types of things with weather?
It just changed dynamic. Oh, so this is...
Oh, a new gun.
Yes. This is the OTS Groza. It's a 7.62 bullpup. super powerful, crate only. Yeah, it's going to be a beast.
Is it a short range, long range? Where's
Short to medium beast. It's going to be super powerful, and then long range it'll work.
And I remember before you came on the show, I asked, why did you put that gun in? And I think your answer was,
it just looks cool.
It looks cool.
Yeah. It's like we wanted to add a bullpup, and we wanted to add something else to the 7.62 class, and this is Spetsnaz weapon. It just looks great.
It looks cool, as good as reason as any, honestly. I want to come back to the weather effects. Obviously, they look beautiful. What are some of the impacts that you've seen on the gameplay with the new weather effects?
Well, it's just going to change the way you play. So it's not necessarily going to be, you're going to be sniping all the time. You know, with the foggy weather, you're going to have to choose a more kind of CBQ type play style. But it's just, again, to give you a bit of variety and make every game kind of different.
You've talked a little bit about what we've seen in the video, but talk to me about long term. What's far down the line for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds?
So again, we want to finish out the platform and make it a good platform for all kind of game modes. You know, we will have modding down the line as well. And it's just creating a stable platform. That's our aim here.
I understand that you're also working on new maps.
Yeah, so we have 2 new maps coming, one based in Peru, a desert map with sort of ruined cities, with sandstorms and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then this So the one in the Adriatic, so it has even a ruined cosmodrome in the center of the map with like snowfall, and I'm excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I know that you've been super involved with the community of regular players. What's in store for those people playing the game right now?
So as I said, we have our custom games. We have the 3D replays, which I'm really excited about because it allows you to watch your match back in the engine with the free cam and slow motion and stuff like that.
Which is great for content creators.
Exactly, right? So you can
content creators, yeah.
Yeah, and it'll just give you a new way to create like machinimas and stuff like that within the game.
Yeah. And the last thing I want to bring up, because you were mentioning this a lot before you came on, you have all sorts of stability and performance fixes incoming.
Yeah, so like our focus this month is on our server performance and really getting that stable, because at the moment the servers aren't performing the best they could. But, you know, so last month our team's focus was on client performance, and we improved that broadly for a lot of people. And this month it's on server. So they've already found a lot of things to fix, and I'm excited.
That's great. I'm sure players will completely stop blaming anything on the game at that point.
Right.
They will accept responsibility for those losses then. Well, to PlayerUnknown himself, Brendan, thank you so much for coming out to talk about it. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, everyone.
As we get ourselves set up for the next game, we're going to head to the mezzanine with Sonia for a little bit of a giveaway.
Thank you, Sean. Sean is pretty cool, right? But you know what's a little bit cooler? A free PC. We're going to be giving a badass PC from our friends at Intel. This bad boy is going to be rocking an i7 7700K processor. There's a lot of sevens in there, and it's going to be running a NVIDIA GTX 1080. It is worth more than $2,500. So if you want a chance to win, head over to pcgamingshow.com/giveaway and put in your information. Good luck, and back to you, Sean.
Thank you, Sonia. And I am pretty cool, right? Jesus, thanks, audience. Woo! I didn't realize you could pinpoint the exact time and date a career died. But we still have all sorts of great stuff in store for you. Our next guest you may recognize from PC Gaming Show. shows past. Tripwire Interactive is back with a slew of games to talk about, and I'm joined by creative director Bill Monk. Pleasure to have you, Bill.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Good to have you back.
Thank you.
As always.
All right.
You guys have been busy. Congratulations on the recent release of Rising Storm 2.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a realism FPS. We just released it 2 weeks ago, and the fan reaction's been really positive. Really happy about that, and we want to thank everyone who was part of the beta phases that helped shape the game in a real positive way. And be sure to check out the Trello boards, see what we're up to, and we're actually already really busy working on some new content, so stay tuned.
That's amazing. I mean, I know so many people know you from Killing Floor 2, but especially this year, there's so much to talk about. I mean, last year you announced Killing Floor Incursion, the VR Killing Floor. How's that been going?
Oh, that's been going awesome. You know, Incursion's one of the second phase, game or second wave games to come out for VR, and we've learned a lot, and we're really, really excited. We think we have one of the best products that's going to come out later this year. It's scary as hell. You can play it
I don't know if I could handle
single player and co-op, and we're really excited to release it. So stay tuned on that.
That's awesome. Now, the big thing I know you wanted to talk about today was a little bit of content coming down the line for your big game, Killing Floor 2. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, when we released Killing Floor 1, one of the things that really put us on the map was our time seasonal events.
Right.
And when we released Killing Floor 2, people were always clamoring and asking, you know, well, when are you guys going to do that for Killing Floor 2?
Reasonable enough?
Well, we're super happy to announce the Summer Sideshow coming out this year.
Well, I'm eager to show everyone this footage. This trailer makes me laugh every time. Let's go ahead and take a look at Killing Floor 2's Summer Sideshow.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tragic Kingdom Amusement Park. Come on down and play Find Mini Cutie, Feed the Pound, Dunk the Float, and Pop. What? Was that a real head? Trade Professor.
Warning. New Z outbreaks and variants and behavior detected. Be alert for new challenges, modes, and threats in the weekly outbreaks.
I mean, I know it's a horror theme, but there's some great humor in this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, seasonal events are definitely the most fun to work on. I mean, it's just, we can just go crazy and go goofy. You know, we got clowns.
You got the monkey that bangs the cymbal with a
chainsaws, midgets on stilts, bearded ladies. You know, we got it all.
Tell me a little bit about what is the gameplay? What's some of the stuff that people can experience in the Summer Sideshow?
So it's a limited time event. It's only going to last for one month. So all this crazy stuff you're seeing here, it's 1 month. And there's over 50 cosmetic items that people can gain from playing it totally free. All the Zeds have been replaced. All the voices have been redone. We also have mini games that are, you know, thrown out throughout the map.
I saw the carnival games right at the start of the trailer.
Yep. We've also got 2 new weapons that we're introducing. And we also have this other mode that we're really excited about. It's the weekly outbreak.
Yeah, I saw the weekly outbreak at the end of the trailer. What's the weekly outbreak about?
So each week, new gameplay mode comes out with new challenges for the player. We have one, it's starting out with Cranium Cracker, and that's a headshot only mode. And
so no damage unless it's headshot.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have another one called Tiny Terror, where every time you shoot a Zed, they actually shrink. They become like little midget Zeds, which is really crazy. And whenever the players get hit, they shrink too.
Oh, really?
So, I mean, that's just 2 of them. We have 8 total, and it's over 2 months worth of content. And if they're really hard to beat, but if you beat it, you get really cool, like, precious items and stuff like that.
So, of course, I have to ask, when can people play it?
Actually, you can play it tomorrow. And it's free on Steam all week.
Easy.
Yep. So you got no excuse not to try it.
Well, I mean, what if people are here at E3?
Oh, well, they can play here too.
Oh, boy, that was a setup on my part.
Right.
Yeah, whereabouts is it at on the E3 floor?
That's at the PC Gamer Show.
Oh, that's right. It's at the PC Gaming Show booth. We have our own booth here at E3. Yes. Oh, I'm glad that two of you are very excited to hear that.
The first of many, right? This is going to become a tradition.
Indubitably. Yeah. I'm not in charge of the budget, so yes, of course. Well, I want to say, Bill, thank you so much for coming out. Congrats on all the projects and the progress. Bill Monk from Tripwire Interactive.
Thank you.
Cheers. Let's head back up to the mezzanine for a little bit of social with Sonia.
This year's PC Gaming Show is being broadcast on more platforms than ever before. We are on Steam, we are on Facebook and Twitch and Mixer. We are all over the place. This is awesome. And guys, if you're on Mixer, you gotta sweet talk the mods a little bit. Be kind of nice to them because they're gonna be giving away games throughout the entire show. Unfortunately, no free games for day 9, but sorry. Back to you, Sean.
I'll happily buy them. Yay, video games! Now, if any of you got the chance to see the conferences leading up to today, there's a lot of exciting stuff going on. In particular, Microsoft has had a whole...
We deliver the same game on the same day.
So it's not a port from one device to the other?
Correct, yeah. We felt it was really important just to build them together from the very beginning.
Just one single code path?
One single code path, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know a whole lot of people here are curious to get their chance to play it. Is there an official release date or an opportunity for them to play it?
Yeah, so we're coming to both platforms in early 2018, but right now we have a technical alpha. You're welcome to come sign up. We have thousands of PC players playing already. So yeah, come join us, seaofthieves.com.
Once again, Ted Timmons.
Awesome, thank you very much.
Rare, thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Seaofthieves.com. Now, this next title is one I'm personally very, very excited about, given the fact that when I took one look at the trailer, the striking visual style just grabbed me. It's an evolution of cyberpunk, a game called The Last Night. Here to talk about it is the creative director at Odd Tales. Join me in welcoming Tim Sauret.
Hello, Sean.
Tim.
Hello.
Welcome.
Pleasure for me.
Thanks for coming out. Let's ask the obvious question. What is The Last Night?
The Last Night is what we call a cinematic platformer, which means it's not a game like Mario where you have to jump from platform to platform, but it's more story-driven. It's more reminiscent of old classics like Another World, Flashback, or Oddworld even.
Oddworld, I was going to say, reminded me quite a bit about it. And I saw that you guys had the big announcement reveal at Microsoft yesterday. I mean,
Apologize for those. They do not in any way represent who I am today or what The Last Night will be about.
Well, let's talk about what the game is about. I know that the setting of The Last Night is super important to the character of the game. Tell me, where are we right now?
I want you to imagine a world where machines are surpassing us in every possible way, you know?
Right.
So not only physically, but also intellectually, emotionally, even creatively.
So in a sense, like, any job that you could possibly imagine, an AI does better.
Absolutely.
Including being a host for a PC gaming show.
Including that.
Well, I imagine, thank you, this one person who is also excited about the booth. Now, in terms of this world, this must give a kind of sense of existential crisis to all the inhabitants.
Yeah, like the way I can...
Like, what is it like to be a person in this world?
So, you know, in a world where you're not valuable anymore in production, the only thing you can really do is to consume endlessly, right? So what we're trying to see with this game is how do you define yourself, you know, when you don't have anything to create or to strive for.
Yeah, and I can see, you know, obviously there's the futuristic lighting and the visuals, but there's also that sort of drab, dreary tone. This art style is amazing. I mean, all of these assets are in 2D, but it has so many modern effects. How did you even think of this?
So it all comes down to my background in VFX and advertising, basically. So I wanted to, you know, explore what I could do with 2D and pixel art and just augment that and enrich it with like modern techniques of lighting and compositing.
Right. You know, and we've talked a little bit about where we are, about the art style. Who are you? Who do you play as in The Last Night?
Yeah, so the character you get to play is a young idealist, I would say.
Yeah.
And because of a childhood accident, he cannot enjoy the same gamified, augmented life than everybody else.
Right.
So because of that, he wants to change the world. And on
You want
his
to have
way,
like an impact and a meaning.
Absolutely. So on his way to do that, he's going to meet some questionable characters you have to trust or not on your way.
What about the gameplay? What are the things that, if I'm the player, what do I do in the last night?
So we took inspiration from some classic genre like point and click and adventure games.
Yeah.
But so you get, to solve puzzles and dialogues, of course. But we added a real-time component to it.
Real-time in what sort of sense? What makes it a real-time puzzle?
So it means that, while you are busy breaking in an apartment, for instance, all the simulation is still happening around you. So police come around, and you have to be careful about that.
So in a sense, like, if I tried to break into the apartment at night, the police might be on patrol at that time, but if I came in the morning, there might be no police, but
Yes.
the resident might be home.
Absolutely, yeah. So that means that, if you see the police coming around the corner, you better, just hide, pretend to be a hobo, or maybe draw your gun.
You also mentioned that the structure of the game is in one night after the other. What's that like?
Yeah, so the game is structured around several nights, so it spans on several nights, and they are all interconnected, which means that what you tell people on the very first night, and what you do also is remember.
So if I'm just in a conversation, just walk away in the middle of it?
Yeah, they will remember it.
They'll remember, like 2 days later, they'll be
absolutely.
angry.
Yeah.
That's fast. That must add a huge amount of replayability since the world is just changing based upon
Yeah, we're
your
taking a lot
inputs.
of pleasure to hide.
The zombie survival game. This one has a much more playful tone, though. Let's look at the next title from Bohemia Interactive.
Well, being stranded on a desert island is a lot of fun. You get to meet new friends. You get in shape. And you learn how to craft. And because it's your land, it won't take long before you call that place a home. But that's just the beginning, because here you can do anything. Islands. Explore your creativity. Visit us at islands.com.
Here to join me to talk about Islands is the creative director from Bohemia Interactive. It's Alish Ulm. Welcome, Alish. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Sean.
What kind of game is Islands?
Okay, so Islands is a sandbox game about survival and exploration, but at the same time, in Islands, you can create your own games, your own adventures, just like the ones we've shown in the video.
Yeah.
Actually, Islands stands for your lands that you create, where you make the rules.
And it's almost like a sandbox game, not where you're necessarily building a structure, but you're trying to build an experience.
Yes, exactly.
And I have to ask, given the fact that the style of it contrasts so sharply with Arma and DayZ, what is it about Islands that still makes it a Bohemia game?
Yeah, we get this a lot, but actually beneath the surface there are still the core values that make up a Bohemia game.
Yeah.
It's still about exploration and finding out how things work, about creativity and imagination. And just like Arma or DayZ, we're trying to create a platform to connect players with each other when they play online or when they create something new and share it with the community.
And I know that modding is a legendary part of Bohemia's history. What are some of the lessons that you've learned from Arma, learned from DayZ, and brought to modding in Islands?
Well, we have our own editor. It's not a standalone application. It's a part of the game.
Oh, really? I mean, I'd assume that it was just outside like all other editors.
No, we would like players to be able to prototype their creations really quickly.
Yeah.
And so in the editor, the players can obviously create something new, but they can also decide to open and modify existing games, ones that we created or ones that other players made for them.
Yeah, I mean, we got the chance to see some scenarios in the initial trailer. Like, those are the ones that you're referring to.
Yep.
That is fantastic. I mean, tell me a little bit about what it is that we're seeing right here on screen.
Well, this is just some random multiplayer game. There are two guys. Initially, there were three. I think one just like fell down the bridge. They are trying to get some kind of treasure, and yeah, they are setting the explosives.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I want to ask about, I know you guys are here at E3. Hey, look, it's the treasure. I know you guys are here at E3. What are some of the things that players can get their hands on at this event?
Well, we'll be showing some of the games that we created with the Islands game editor, but at the same time, we'll be showing how they can use the editor to create those games.
That's awesome. And I mean, I know there's a way for people to play right now, is that right?
Yeah, actually, they can already play the alpha version of the game. It's available as a part of our Bohemia Incubator program.
Mm-hmm.
They can find more information on our website, islands.com. And later this year, we are coming to Steam Early Access.
That's awesome. And remember, that's islands.com with a Y. We're good. You can remember that. So I want to say, Alish, thank you so much for coming out to talk about Islands. It's been a pleasure. And of course, I hope you're as excited as I am to come up with some total nonsense when I sit down to play. Our next world exclusive is going to be up in the mezzanine with Sonia.
Thank you, Sean. I am so honored to be a part of this world exclusive reveal from developers Clay. You might recognize their name from games like Don't Starve or Don't Starve Together for lonely folk like myself. And last year at the PC Gaming Show, they actually revealed their sci-fi colony sim game, Oxygen Not Included. And this year they are back. And they are back with a bang. And I am so excited to reveal their upcoming sci-fi RPG game. It is called Griffland.
Четверть. Ci soci.
I absolutely love clay games and can't wait the chance to try Grifflands. Now, this next title is an interesting one because I'm not someone who plays many VR games, but I got a chance to check this one out several months ago, and I was immediately hooked, so I can't wait to talk about it with the creative director from Ready at Dawn. It's Rue Virasuria to talk about Lone Echo. Welcome, Rue.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here. Now, Rue.
Yeah.
I've gotten the chance to play Lone Echo, but a lot of people here maybe haven't seen it or heard of it. Just walk us through what is the game.
So the game, the Lone Echo, is a single player experience in VR where you play a cybernetic AI on a mining station in the rings of Saturn. And basically in the game, you're allowed to move basically, in zero-G freely. You can interact with everything inside the environment, and also you'll see that you have an NPC that you can interact with. You can use your hands basically to go everywhere you need to go.
This was the thing that was so amazing for me. You stand still, and then you use your arms to grab onto objects in the environment, to push and pull yourself around, and it was really amazing to move that way. I've never seen this before.
Exactly. I mean, that's basically where the genesis of the project was. We built a mechanic to build the game. So the mechanic was this idea that came from watching ISS space station astronauts, moving around, and we just basically made this motion that allows you to navigate using your hands just like you would use your legs.
So it's been a few months since I got the chance to play. What's been happening in terms of the single player? Here you got some fancy new voice actors lined up.
Yeah, we did actually. When we wrote the story for it, we actually had an actor in mind, somebody that a lot of people out there know, Troy Baker, and Troy decided to take on the role for the AI.
And of course, another thing that we get the chance to talk about is the multiplayer component to Lone Echo called Echo Arena. Rue, how does this game work?
Basically, it's a futuristic VR sport where you play, 10 people play in 2 different teams to get a disc inside each other's goals.
Now, you might be a little bit confused as to how exactly that works, but don't worry. We're going to take an even closer look at what the gameplay is like for Echo Arena.
In zero gravity, players fly faster. Passes go farther. Strikes hit harder. Stakes get higher. And victory tastes sweeter. This is Zero G in the Echo Arena.
Anomaly detected. What the hell? Jack, are you seeing? Jack, cut the panel. That's me.
We are up here with Echo Arena in action as some of the Ready at Dawn developers are playing against each other. So, Doug, welcome back. Hello.
Thank you.
It's awesome to have you. But listen, before we get into VR, I really wanted you to tell me a little bit more about the Grand Slam event.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. I'm a big sports fan. And so tennis, golf, rugby, they have their Grand Slam. Now we have it at esports. So with Intel, ESI, and DreamHack, we now have our Grand Slam, which is really exciting.
That's awesome. That's exciting. So I'd like to know a little bit more about Intel's involvement with this game.
You know, we've been involved working closely with the best VR developers for a long time, and I'm excited to work with Ready at Dawn as they're delivering the next second generation VR game. They've been an ideal partner to enhance that experience to scale to the most performant CPUs like the i7 and i9.
That's amazing. So I was really excited to hear about your announcement earlier.
Yeah, Ready at Dawn, Intel, and Oculus, we announced that Intel is sponsoring a free release of Echo Arena to all Oculus Rift users when it launches on July 20th. For a limited time. And this is because we want as many users as possible on this system. We want to ensure that everyone, including these guys behind us, the gamers behind us as you see, that they try and experience the future of VR and esports.
So speaking of esports, I would really love to hear more about Intel's involvement with esports.
Intel has a long history as a leader in esports. We worked with companies like ESL for the Intel Extreme Masters. And we're excited about Echo Arena and the growth of VR esports. And that's why we're expanding our partnership with ESL and Oculus to launch the VR Challenge League. It kicks off in July, and it features Echo Arena and the Unspoken. And it gives esports enthusiasts the opportunity to compete in VR at key upcoming events with the
And an i7 7700K processors, a lot of sevens in there. And an NVIDIA GTX 1080, it's worth more than $2,500. You do not want to miss out. Head over to PCGamingShow.com/giveaway and put in your information. I think it could run Crysis at max settings. What do you think, Sean?
I think it can, Sonia, and I also think that it can run our next title. I am a master of transition. Our next game is from Chucklefish, the wonderful folks who helped bring you Star
Stardew Valley, and Starbound. Let's take a look at their upcoming game, Wargroove.
They have unique lose that unit, then you actually lose. Is an
characters we're introducing into the world and into our story. Altariel, she's relationship with her, but she's this awesome character, and as well as that, she gets her own fully playable campaign in our first major story DLC as well, which is the Blade of Galadriel.
Well, before we hop into that, I just want to say, Michael, thanks so much for coming on to talk about Shadow of War. We talked about how important story is to Shadow of War, so let's take a little bit of a look at 2 minutes of the cinematic, Altariel meeting Talion.
So it is true.
You killed me.
And yet you live. What is that like, to die and live again? Do you feel pain? Do you suffer?
What of the city? Of the Palantir?
The Nazgul have taken both. They belong to the Dark Lord now.
Then I have failed.
What if you keep fighting?
He wields the light of Galadriel. He can recover the ring.
Your rings are the cause of all this, Elf Lord.
You can see him.
I see him.
Who are you?
I'm the Blade of Galadriel.
Shadow of War. As a huge fan of Shadow of Mordor, I'm really excited to see where the story goes in the sequel. And I'm pleased to say we have one final game to announce. It's from Microsoft, and I'm not even allowed to say the name yet. So joining me to talk about said unnamed game is a creative director from Microsoft Studios, Adam Eisgreen. Welcome, Adam.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. Love
being
Pleasure.
here. Now, Adam, I understand that you've been in games for a long time.
I have. I am coming up on my 25th year making video games. So yes, you can actually make a career out of being in games. And, you know, I got my start in the DOS days. Remember DOS? Like,
oh, yeah, dude, I played
High
Zork all day.
Hey, so I got my start in the DOS days doing role-playing games, D&D games, but I spent a heck of a lot of time making real-time strategy games. I was at Westwood Studios for years working on the Command & Conquer series, Earth and Beyond, a whole bunch of great games there, Petroglyph, Universal War, Empire War, so a lot of history on PC, and I'm excited to get back to it.
Well, I understand that this title is an homage to those roots, and I'm still not going to tell you what it is, but I know you're curious, so let's head right in to this world-exclusive trailer.
Age of Empires was the first game I ever saved up my allowance to play as a kid. I'd weed my grandma's garden all day. She'd give me like $2, and I still stayed dedicated. Tell me about Age of Empires, man.
Man, you know, nobody has been able to play this game except if they found the CD-ROMs for the last 20 years.
And what's a CD-ROM?
I know, really. These day and age, like, who even has a drive? You know, and this has been such a labor of love for us at Microsoft and our development partner at Forgotten Empires to bring back Age of Empires in such a wonderful, definitive edition so everyone can experience it.
I want to talk about all the stuff we saw in the trailer start to finish. Talk to me about the graphics. Those sprites are gorgeous.
We have redone every single asset in the original Age of Empires. Every animation, every tile set, everything that made Age of Empires great, we have carefully and lovingly taken and made even better and better.
Because I remember just watching the sprites move around in the original game. It was very blocky and stuttery.
16 facings now, so those fonts don't jitter, you know. Ton of work has gone into making the game and the presentation amazing.
What about audio?
Oh, yeah. So we've re-orchestrated and re-recorded the entire soundtrack to the game using an actual symphony this time. It sounds wonderful. The people at studios are constantly begging us to get the soundtrack already.
Now, I have to ask, there were some aspects to the gameplay back then that were a little janky. Have there been any updates to the gameplay in that regard?
Yes. So not only have we done things like improved Find Path, which is, of course, always a big thing in RTS games, we've gone in and actually modernized the UI. A lot of people forget that original Age didn't even have an idle villagers button. So all of that stuff, attack move, all of those things that people have come to expect.
Control groups?
Yes, control groups.
1A.
Yep. So all of that stuff is all in the game now. So we've taken all of the learnings from the Age games that followed and brought it up to those standards.
And you know, speaking of modernization, I saw that it said Xbox Live Multiplayer, which, as you may or may not know, that is the online matchmaking service that Microsoft uses for PC games. I mean, how are you utilizing that?
Oh, well, we've completely redone how lobbies work and how games and matching works. You know, we have our friend system, of course, it's built into Xbox Live. So players should have a really amazing experience. We also have a web portal so they can go and track progress and see their results against all the other players. So it should be a really wonderful experience to play.
And what about the beta that we saw at the end of that video?
Yes, so the game will be out later this year, but you can go right now to ageofempires.com and sign up for our multiplayer beta. You know, RTS games are really, you know, our multiplayer is so important. And we want to make sure that this definitive edition of Age is the absolute best we can make it.
Right.
So, you know, multiplayer, please come, sign, play with us, make the game great.
You asked me before we hopped on that you wanted to say one more special bit, a little bit of a tease. We understand that it's the 20th anniversary of Age of Empires. What is it you wanted to say?
So, yes, Age of Empires, the whole franchise will be it's hitting its 20 mark October of this year. You know, and this is the start, here at E3 with you, is the start of the celebration of 20 years of Age of Empires. And that party is going to roll. We're going to continue that. So you're going to hear from us again in Cologne, Germany at Gamescom in August. And we're going to be having a really wonderful Age of Empires event there and talking a whole bunch about, I think, stuff you're going to want to hear.
I think I'm going to want to hear it.
Yes.
You tease. Well, let me just say, Adam, thank you so much for coming out. Super excited about Age of Empires. And with that, our slew of announcements comes to an end. Before we depart, let's head back up to the mezzanine with Sonia for one last hello.
Thank you, Sean. I had an amazing time being a part of some awesome game reveals and kicking it with you guys today. If you want any more information on any of the games that you saw today, go to pcgamer.com. If you want to hang out with me and check me out on the internet at OMG It's Firefox, pretty much everywhere. I had a blast, and for one last time, back to you, Sean.
Thank you so much, Sonia. I gotta say, it was a blast. I hope you had a great time. Thank you all so much for coming out. All of you who braved LA traffic to be here in the morning. All of you who tuned in online. Thanks to our sponsors, Intel, Microsoft, Bohemia, Tripwire, Cygames, and Nexon for help making this event possible. It is an absolute pleasure to have your support. And I'd also like to give a shout out to all the developers and the publishers at their recent conferences that have been going on in the last week. We were super excited about the titles there and following them closely because we're gamers at heart, and we hope that you too enjoyed what we had to share with you today. And as crazy as it sounds, E3 starts tomorrow. So we hope that you get the chance to get your hands on some of the titles that were announced in the last week that you're pumped for. From all the folks at PC Gamer and from me, Day 9, have a wonderful day and go play some video games. We'll see you next year.